So let's snag the transform right here. Yeah, we wanted to split this structure. So we had the location, the rotation, and then we had the scale come right over there. Yeah, set actor transform. Alright, so let's take a look at painting stuff. So if we throw it down there, our output log is saying creating actor, negative, blah 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 blah. Why is that negative bajillion value? Well, it shouldn't really matter. Whoops. The undo operation works on a different level, it looks like. Alright, well, let's select a whole bunch of these and delete them. So I guess the unique ID counter thing was messed up with this uninitialized garbage. Alright, so something got screwed up when we did the undo operation. Let's just make sure of that. Alright, well, interesting. I'm not really sure what got messed up. Maybe nothing did. Let's just pretend our problem doesn't exist. Alright, so if we move this object, well, those moved, but none of the others did. Alright, well, let's go ahead and paint a whole bunch of stuff on here. Let's save the level. And then let's open the level, open a different level, and then reopen this one. So let's open up the beautiful corner real quick. And then let's reopen the waterfall level. And let's go to our select and yeah, we just removed all of our stuff, but these guys didn't get created. Well, I was thinking that something like that probably would happen. That the unique IDs of these things wouldn't be saved, and as a result, things would be screwed. Alright. So what should we do? Well, let's place one piece of this. Where'd our foliage go? Okay, so we had our created actor called. So let's go to the other level. any other level. Alright, so we did not build anything. As in, we didn't get anything added or any of that. Alright, well let's just snag a few of these other things. So the question is, which things are actually getting changed here? We're not calling update actor whatsoever, that's what it looks like. This is another issue with blueprints, is like I want to undo the thing in the level, not the edit in the blueprint. Alright, so when we select this guy and we do delete, deleting actor 0. So we need to re-index this whole thing basically when we start up. So let's see how this works. Like this add instance is going to be here. So let's go ahead and see if that gets called anywhere when we swap levels. It does not get called when we swap levels. And we're obviously doing something, so update component settings, check component class, create new component. Let's see if any of this gets called. I guess it's just getting loaded straight back into memory or something. Or we're doing like an equals operator with the... No? No, that's not getting called either. None of this is getting called. Well, let's see if we can re-index everything somehow. How would we do this? Well, the other thing we could do is, instead of trying to get this to work all the time, the basic ask is I'd like to use the foliage system to place objects in the world. Like, I want to place a whole bunch of mushrooms using this stuff. So the big thing would be, what we'd want to do is, inside of here or something, we would want to, instead of doing a whole bunch of stuff like this, we'd want to call the function to create a new instance of this thing, but then we wouldn't actually put it in the world using the instance mesh system. Just have the thing get put onto, you know, the area, and then to delete it and all that stuff, you would have to just go delete it yourself. Just be like, well, it's added to the world, so whatever, you know, it's a convenience. So why don't we just do that, because I don't feel like going through all this crap. It's a little bit too much. Like, as soon as like we get in here, it's like, it's a little bit too much in terms of support, like having to load and all that. I don't like it. Usually in these instances, I'm just like, maybe we should pull out Vietnam before we actually get overcommitted. And just be like, the only thing we're going to support is the on-instance created function, and what we're going to do is we're going to have like a value that we set which returns true or false. So we could have the movement and all that stuff, but I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. Let's just, if you want to move it, select all the damn stuff and then move it. There you go. Movement. So let's just, let's backpedal on this stuff. Alright, so we'll save all that, and we'll have like the construction script and all that do what it needs to do. And we're going to go into our stuff. We're going to remove the unique ID. So we're just going to have on instance created. Alright, so if component create mesh equals false return. Alright, we need to go to our on instance created needs to be this. Alright, and create mesh. What are the default return values for blueprint implementable events? Okay, so how you're supposed to actually do this is like boolean ref out. Bool create mesh equals true. So we'll do this sort of thing. And we're just gonna make it real simple. We're just gonna make it so you can use the foliage system to paint on blueprint objects. And that's it. And I think that'll be fine. Just be like, yeah, it's not super integrated, but it does work. So there you go. Something easier than what we have at the moment, which is annoying. So we'll just compile that back up. And one of the reasons I don't want to touch too much of this, if I have to go into saving and loading code, there's a lot of nasty stuff, obviously, inside the foliage system that I'll probably get wrong. And if I get it wrong and screw something up later, I don't want Adam to be like, well, I did this one thing and this didn't work and this exploded. And I'm just like, ah, shit. So I'd rather have something that I can always tell him, like, this is how it will behave, because we can deal with that. But if it's supposed to do all sorts of other crap, then let's just not deal with it. Too many edge cases. Very cool. Alright, so let's go ahead and remove that thing. So we want to go to our test content for our landscape. We want to open up our mini shroom and our test static component. And basically we need to override the function for create mesh, and we're just gonna return false. There we go. And we're also going to get rid of this scale transform thing. So let's just go to our foliage. Let's take this guy. Let's just say like scale X is 1 and 1 and all that. And what we should be able to do is just go to single instance mode and just, draw a few things on here. And as you can see, there's 0 happening there, so what'll be interesting is Adam can just and there you go. You can draw things onto what we want. And if you want a different type of mushroom, then go make a different blueprint. It's not my problem. Alright. And these are all static, so they should get baked into the lighting and be super easy to deal with. Alright, so let's see if there's a way to spawn actor add to folder in editor. Unreal. Alright, so there's set folder in path on the spawned actor itself. This function is only valued if you build one of the editor builds, not the shipping build. / at the beginning will cause the creation of a folder named spawn actors. One was already created by him. Alright, so I'm going to save this, and I'm going to go to make a new function inside of my blueprints utilities. It'll be like place object in editor folder, and we'll just conditional compile that out. So let's go to object utils. Yeah, there we go. Alright, so we're going to have a static U function here, which is going to be put actor in editor folder. And we're going to take a actor pointer actor and a const f string reference, which will be the folder name. And the cool thing about this is it'll work, as opposed to the not cool thing about not cool things, which is that usually they don't work, or when they do work, it's not cool, so you just don't really like that, and nobody likes it. Alright, let's say call to put an actor into an editor outliner folder. Alright, so if actor equals no pointer, return, otherwise actor set folder path folder name. I guess that's it, and we just need to conditional compile this out. Just like that. So we'll make our, like, foliage or whatever the hell folder in there, and it should just automatically throw it in there instead of in the main scene, and that'll just help some organization. Alright, just a few cast conversion issues that we'll fix once that finishes building. Alright, let's run this thing. Come on now. Alright, let's go to our test content, let's go to our landscape, let's open this thing up, and let's call this function, which is put actor in editor folder. Let's put it in /foliage, compile that, save it, Alright, so what happens when we go to our painting, single instance mode? Aha, there it is. That's pretty cool. I'm happy with that. So we can just slap stuff all over the place. It's like, you get a mushroom, you get a mushroom. So yeah, this is a lot easier than putting stuff all over the place. That's just stupid amounts of, like the time it takes to put together an asset. Just got a hell of a lot shorter. And let's see, if we build the lighting, do we actually see those lights in the background there? I want to figure that out. Yeah, it looks like it's just an editor thing. Yeah, these point lights are all designated as movable objects, which is not what we want. So that's going to be inside of our blueprint. What's in our construct? So let's see. Add point light component. Let's see. Well, I'm gonna need to add a few more things here. Let's see. Set component to stationary blueprint. Normal easy answer, spawn blueprint actor, needs a local transform, move actor. I just want set stationary on this thing. Just set it as movable. Movable means it can simulate physics. Can we actually set the mobility of a component? Yeah, okay, so it's only safe to set in constructor. Wait, this function here has tons of garbage in it. Like, what is all this? Like, you can actually specify all the parameters on the point light component from the constructor. All right, that's interesting. All right, now all these are static because they all got changed. Mesh is static. This is all static. Cool. All right, let's take a look at building it. Because what I want to see, like, basically what I was saying there was the lighting wasn't as cheap as I thought. Like, I'm expecting this lighting to just be free, basically. I think it should be baked into the textures now. And it looks like it's baked into the textures. Light affects world, cast shadows, cast static shadows, dynamic shadows. That's interesting. As soon as you move it, you can see that the lighting is no longer baked in. But the lighting looks lower quality when it's baked. Is that true? Yes, it is true. And let's see if there's anything that has to do with the lighting quality. Like, well, let's just set it to like production quality, and let's just build it and see if it changes how this stuff looks and if it looks better or not. Because I have no clue, so we might as well turn it to maximum and see if it works. And it looks like it's pre-computed into the texture, yes, but because these objects have like crappy geometry and it's all stretched and warped, we're getting bad lighting on them. So that's fine though. Like, that's totally fine. Let's just change our lighting. Whoops, that's the wrong thing. Let's change our lighting quality to preview. Let's wait for this to finish building. And I'll probably do a release build here and see if there's any performance problems in a release build. Oh, okay, yeah, we need to mess with this sky sphere real quick. This sky sphere itself is like casting shadows. We want to just turn that off for this sky sphere thing. The mesh that is up there. Because the mesh shouldn't cast shadows. Like, there's no shadows to cast for that thing. So let's rebuild that thing and see if the message goes away. Yeah, it looks like it went away. Please add a tightly bounding light mass, important phone to optimize your scene's quality and lighting build times. I just like how these are green, blonde rocks. Alright, let's make a shipping build real quick, and we'll make sure that things look good in it. Unknown error. Yeah, it's because our debugger's attached. Let's detach the debugger. And now rebuild this thing. Alright, I will be right back. Well, I guess it's got to build stuff. Well then, we'll just wait for it to finish building. Well, have we really been going for like 7 hours? Well, 7 hours of trash cave. Looks exactly like the concept art. It's perfect. You know, it's just a masterpiece. Just like there's our moss right there. So we'll just chill out here for a minute while we got this building. Shouldn't take too long. It's almost finished. So what do we have right now that you have to actually create, to paint on these things, we need yeah, so that's pretty much all we got to do in order to actually create a blueprint. Just do that stuff. Alright, so we can now test our release build real quick. So let's do so. It's got the wrong level to start with, doesn't it? It's going to start us off in this level, which is not what we want. So let's change our settings real quick. What is it? Maps and modes. Let's actually have our editor start up with, this is Waterfall and Cave. So let's package this thing up again. Shouldn't have to cook a whole bunch of stuff this time. It should be pretty quick. Since we just built everything, it'll just do a very small amount of reorganization. Nine hours of toiling with water. Well, how about another 5 hours? How about another 9 hours? So that's kind of how it's looking at the moment. So I'd say looking a lot better than it was. That's for sure. Getting all those mushrooms in there, definitely helping out. It's just still, yeah. Gonna go take a break. Not thinking straight anymore. Yeah, that's a good plan. I think I'm probably gonna do the same since I haven't taken any breaks either. Just been working on stuff. So, and it's also a pretty good point. Like, we've got, it's a good stopping point, I think, for today on some of this. Might pick it back up. I also need to like play a few more games and stuff like that on stream. So I think I'll sign off as well. Let's see, have they finished? Looking good? Yeah, this thing looks like trash. But hopefully we can get it better. My emoticon are still pending. So I'll just have to wait for that. But yeah, so the next things to do, basically, the next stuff is the interesting stuff, right? Like, actually, all of this has been kind of interesting. We figured out how to place a blueprint with the foliage system, something that people can't do, and we did it actually pretty well. But the next things, I think, like we've got our basic cave and all that crap. It's going to be water, foliage hanging. We're going to need this background nicely set up, and then yeah, stuff like that. Because I think we've pretty much solved like how we want to do mushrooms and all that. They look fine, you know, like they just need better art and crap like that, and then they'll look fine. And we've also figured out a bit of how we want to like pretty up rocks. Like if we can just paint on stuff like this, then that solves a lot of our problems with assets. Because one of the big issues right now is we'd have to like make a whole bunch of different rocks, and then we have to mess with them. And if we can just like, you know, slap some stuff on top of it and call it good, then you know we can kind of just go through a level that we've created and just, you know, put stuff on it and it'll look, gives a shit, it'll look fine. All right, so we will continue working on this next time. So thank you for hanging out and have a good one.